These are 5 rookies to target in your upcoming drafts. Number 1 on the list is Zach Edey. To say this guy is big would be a huge disservice. He's 7'4" with a 7'10" wingspan, and he is a perfect fit for Memphis, who needed to replace Steven Adams. The back-to-back National College Player of the Year comes into the NBA with a ton of experience. He's a 4-year player out of Purdue, and over his last 2 years, he averaged nearly 24 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, and a little bit over 2 blocks per game. He has great footwork and is one of those throwback centers that's going to back you down in the paint. He won't stretch the floor, but that's not why you're drafting him. He's slated to start right out of the gate and should have some added opportunity with the Grizzlies being without Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams Jr. Not to mention Jaren Jackson Jr., who's dealing with a hamstring strain himself. Now, Jackson Jr.'s injury is thought to be relatively minor, and he is expected to be ready by the season opener. With Edey at center, Jaren Jackson should be able to slide back to his natural position of power forward, and I expect the Grizzlies to get back to operating how they did a couple years ago, and should regain their competitive form. I like Edey in all formats, and I would target him around the 9th, 10th round, and you know what you're going to get on a nightly basis. Solid points, rebounds, and blocks. And he's also going to shoot it pretty well from the field and shouldn't hurt you too much from the free throw line. Number 2 on the list is Zachary Reese. The number 1 overall pick had some questions around his NBA readiness, but he's looked pretty good in the preseason. He was expected to be a catch and shoot / transition type of player, but he's demonstrated some good basketball IQ already. While he's not a lockdown defender at this stage of his career, he is active, and at 6'9", he can guard the 1 through 4. I think at the very least, you can expect points, 3-pointers, good shooting percentages, along with minimal turnovers on a nightly basis. His comps coming out of the draft were Harrison Barnes and Michael Porter Jr., so I think at this stage, he's probably better suited for points leagues, but given that he's going to be starting, he should definitely get better as the season goes on. He does have value in categories leagues, but is more of a specialist. I would conservatively target him around the 12th, 13th round, but I do like his upside, and I think he will improve as a playmaker. Number 3 on the list is Alex Sawar. With the Wizards coming off of their worst season in franchise history, they made a concerted effort to improve their 2 problem areas: rebounding and defense. They most notably brought in Jonas Valanciunas and Malcolm Brogdon, but they also drafted Sawar, who at 7 foot has a lot of defensive versatility and has the potential to hit the ground running. He's a modern big that has the potential to space the floor, and in his 1 season in the NBL, he had 2.8 blocks on a per 36-minute basis. He does definitely have to work on his scoring, but he's not afraid to shoot it, even from 3, and he has steadily improved in each year that he's played. As for his role in Washington, I'm expecting him to be a rim roller who should provide some steady points, rebounds, solid field goal percentages, and some elite defensive stats. He's likely to be left open a lot from deep, and if he can knock some of those down, he could be one of the better value picks in categories leagues. He is dealing with some calf soreness, but it's not thought to be serious, and he's expected to open the year at power forward next to Valanciunas, Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, and Bilal Coulibaly. Number 4 on the list is Stefon Castle. The former Husky and national champion finished his 1 season at UConn averaging 1.3 stocks per game. He's a lockdown defender who's 6'6" and has a 6'9" wingspan, which allows him to rebound well for a guard. He's mostly known for his transition game and ability to push the ball up court. He is definitely a bit raw and will struggle with turnovers throughout the year, but I think he will eventually be a true point guard in this league. I like his odds to produce right away, mainly because Devin Vassell is still recovering from a foot injury that ended his season prematurely last year. As of now, the Spurs are saying he's only going to miss the first 5 games, but I have some doubts around that. He has an injury history, and the Spurs are known to be ultra conservative with their superstars. Not to mention, they just gave Vassell a big extension last season, and they're likely thinking about protecting him for the future. Now, Castle wasn't a great 3-point shooter at UConn, only shooting at 27% from deep, but he has seemed to improve on that over the summer, and if he can carry that momentum into the season, he could really have some nice value early on. His comp coming out of college was Drew Holiday, and I really love that he's going to be under the tutelage of Chris Paul. I definitely expect his role to grow as the season goes on, but at this point, I view him as a lower-end asset in deeper categories leagues. I would target him around the 15th round, but he definitely has some upside and can chip in everywhere. Number 5 on the list is Matas Buellis. Buellis is coming off of 1 year with the G League Ignite, and he had a pretty solid season. He averaged 14 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, and a little bit over 2 blocks per night. At 6'10", he's an explosive player that's very versatile. He does have some work to do on his shooting. He only shot at 45% from the field and 27% from 3, but his ability to defend and playmake give him some value in categories leagues. With DeMar DeRozan no longer on the team, he should earn some rotational minutes right away. He's looked pretty solid in the preseason, he doesn't seem to be afraid of the competition, and he has the right makeup mentally and physically. Those are 5 rookies to target in your upcoming drafts. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which rookies you think we should keep an eye on in the comments below.